Recently on the Wayspotters podcast, you heard Mr. Chris say...
Can I just say that we did a whole episode on what this transition might look like? And nailed it. Hello, agents, scouts, trainers, keepers, pilots, hunters, eighth wallers, and our beloved explorers and wayfinders. Welcome to episode 190 of the Wayspotters podcast, a podcast dedicated to helping you become a better wayfinder. Wayspotters is brought to you by the good people of the Pokémon Professor Network. Today is Thursday, September the 4th. And with me, as always, is Jamal. How is it going, my friend?
Man, we are recording on Wednesdays and Tuesdays and Thursdays more than we're recording on Fridays. Yeah. But I'm good, man. I'm good. Thank you for being flexible this week.
Oh, yeah, no worries, man. My ring light just fell down. Give me 1 second to fix it here. Yeah, no worries, man. It's been a day. I had to do a bunch of stuff with the wife and that I had forgot about when I agreed to do this. So I'm a little bit red-faced, and we were moving some stuff from where my daughter's choir used to practice to where they're now. And I didn't know this, but they had a bunch of really heavy stuff that they needed to get moved. So back's a little store.
And when you're a dad, they just assume that you like to lift
stuff. That is pretty much exactly what happened. They were like, hey, there's all the stuff. There's the truck. Cool, I guess. So
yeah. Well, we have our own news this week, Chris. Before you get to the news, people are watching this like we are back on video. I hope so. If you're watching this, we're back on video, and if you're not watching this, something happened, and you just have audio. But if all goes well on Sunday, you are watching this. If you are a Spotify viewer, watcher, whatever, if you're accessing us through Spotify, you're seeing our beautiful faces right now. And probably Tuesday or Wednesday, you're seeing this on YouTube. Maybe Monday, maybe Tuesday. I'm not sure. Anyhow, we're trying something new. And hopefully in the Spotify feed, you're seeing our faces. So we picked the perfect day to record video after Chris got to move stuff all day. That's the perfect day to try to launch video. So hopefully you guys are seeing this video. If you're hearing the audio and you don't see the video, something went wrong, and we'll try it again next week. But, that's where we are.
We are ever evolving as a podcast to keep everybody happy. And a lot of people have been asking about video and the YouTube and stuff. So
okay. Go ahead and say Aquablast 64. Go ahead.
It's one of them. I've had other people DM me too and be like, YouTube? Like, you keep mentioning YouTube? And I'm like, yeah, I know. I just, with everything going on in my personal life in this whole year, it's been a year, man. Like, it's been a rough year with everything that's going on.
But it's been a good year for you though, bro. It's been a good year. I mean, if you think about the things with your daughter and Jackson, like you moved, like you've like made like significant levels up in your life. Yes. So that's good, man. I mean, it's rough, but in a good way. It'd be different if it was rough in a bad way, but it's rough in a good way.
Yeah, there's a lot of rough stuff that's happened, but there's a lot of good that's happened that kind of levels it all out, right?
True.
So
that's true.
We're like,
yeah, that's true.
We're a lot like Seinfeld, everything just comes out even Steven, just kind of balanced.
Exactly. That's right. A little bit of up, a little bit of down. So
speaking of up and down, let's jump into the news. The eligibility requirements for Pokemon Go players will look like after Pogo rolls out their new level cap increase in October. I think it's coming.
Mm-hmm.
I keep getting the pop-up on my game. October. When I look at my profile, it's just like levels are changing, and I'm like, I'm level 50 right now. What that means after, I don't know.
Right. I think it's October 15th.
Yes, I think you're right, yeah. And I know a couple people have called me out on this before, but I have maxed out my gift opening every single day this week. Every day. And I actually just
good for you.
The Go Pass this week actually allows you to open more gifts. So now we're done. I need to open a bunch to max it out again today. So now that I need experience again, it's kind of pushing me there.
Yeah, I remember. I never stopped. Yes. I never stopped.
You and Ken are definitely always on that grind. Yeah. So I
am almost to 500 million. I am at 496 million XP. And I actually went to Raid Hour on Wednesday, and I found out someone is chasing me. Somebody is at like 484, and they're like, "Oh, I'm coming after you." And I was like, "What?" And they were like, "Oh yeah." Everybody in the park knew. They were like, "Here comes Jamal." Everybody knew that this guy's been like following me and chasing me in XP. I'm the only one that didn't know, so I'm like, "Oh, okay, all right, bet, let's go."
Nice.
So like, I'm seriously, so like today I went best friends with somebody, and normally I wouldn't waste an egg. Oh, I egged it. I got that extra 150,000 XP, and I wasn't even playing. I'm like, "Oh yeah, oh no, we're on. It's going. We're going, buddy."
We're going.
So
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm at 198, so I'm not even at half of where you are. So Tintino did say, and I quote, because I'm going to quote him here, "I'm confident level might not be the measure to dictate eligibility, but it will have to be more nuanced, something for us to think about." End quote. Interesting. We could probably spend a whole half a show speculating on what that means.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure.
Well, we won't. Not this week anyway.
Yep.
I got other stuff to talk about. But I think that's probably going to push the Wayfarer team towards something more robust and more appropriate than "you're old enough." You know what? Like, it's like, oh yeah, you're old enough.
Yeah.
Now you can drink and now you can drive, and obviously not at the same time. Probably should have chosen those words differently.
No, I get what you meant. Yeah.
Now it's just,
I knew where you were going with that.
Wayfarer. It's like, we've always had a problem with that, right? So fingers crossed.
I mean, and it's not like I want to introduce a gate to be kept, but I remember I don't remember when it was, but I said, if there's not going to be a test, I would love something to be, you need to review X amount of nominations before you get the privilege to submit. Because I think the ability to submit is more precious than the ability to review.
Agreed.
A bad review can get sucked up by good reviews, but a bad nomination affects 200-300 people. Maybe. I don't know. I'm just making that number up.
Wrong.
But a bad nomination affects a lot more people than a bad review does. So I would love to see some type of walk me through tutorial. Maybe you have Professor Willow walk you through on how to do a review. I don't know. Something along the lines, but you need to review. Maybe you need to earn one upgrade before you get the ability to nominate. So what's that, 100, 150, maybe 200 reviews in order to, get the full bar around. I don't know, spitballing, throwing out ideas. We know the Wayfarer team is really smart and they've got some really good ideas, but I would love to see that. So I'm not as good as the prediction game as you are, Chris. So I'm intrigued in what you think. Or maybe we can punt that to another show.
Now let's talk about it real quick, because I remember we talked about this before. Like, it was we had a topic before, and I came up with the idea of Wayfarer special research. Do you remember?
That's right.
It's like,
yes, I do.
You get level 35, and I don't even necessarily think that it should be like on by default. I think that you should have to go into your settings, click on Wayfarer, and be like, I want to participate in Wayfarer. Because you're going to get people out there who are going to get level 35. They're going to get the research and be like, I'm never going to finish this. I don't want to do Wayfarer. This isn't for me. Why is it in my list? I don't want it. So you should have to opt in, right? And then Willow would come up and be like, hey, I see you're interested in Wayfarer. It's a system where you could submit Wayspots to a map and blah, 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 blah. And then, like, you would have to go out and explore and hit 10 new Pokestops and click or spin 10 new dirt or whatever, right? Just whatever it is. And then you would progress and you would get rewards and Pokeballs and stuff. And then it would unlock after you get to like level 3 or 4. You would unlock Wayfarer and be like, okay, now go out and submit your first Pokestop. And then it would walk you through the process. Here's the picture. This is the main photo. This is what you want for the main photo. And then here, oh, now you need a supporting photo. This is what you need for the supporting photo. Make sure it includes the point of entry. All the stuff that would just, like a tutorial, but in the game as part of a
that would make it so much better, because people will follow Willow. and they have to do it, and that would solve so many problems with the supporting photo if they tell you make sure the POI is in there. That's see, now I'm anxious to see how correct you are. If you're like
Yeah.
93.857% correct, I'm just waiting to see how
I
correct you
just
are.
think it's definitely the way to go because people are very reluctant to go outside of the game for information. And that's been the big complaint
Mhm.
from Wayfarer for forever
Yep.
is people unlock it in the thing, they do the tutorial or whatever on their phone, and then they're right back in Pogo and they're submitting Pokestops. And we're going to talk about a guy later who got a 10-year ban. Like he didn't know any better. Like
Right.
you have the method to get this to the people literally in their hands. You don't even
Right.
have to have them leave the app. And you will get
Right.
so many more people and you will get so much more information, good information to them. Like you've got a whole team of ambassadors who will probably come up with each one of the steps we've offered to help
Yeah.
with this, right? We can consult. We'll do it for
Yep.
free.
Yep. We'll do
So
it for free. We'll make a step-by-step
yeah,
video with our new
yeah.
fancy software and put it on YouTube for all to see.
I
So
100% will find someone to get me all of the screenshots and I will do a video walkthrough on the special research if they do it. I was going to say I was create my own account, but that would break the terms of
and
service. So I'll have to find someone else
right.
who's level 34 or something.
And you can double and write an article for
Yes.
GoHub and have an article and a
Yes.
video. So you'll hit the people who want video and you'll hit the people who read things. So that will be double and that'll make zero
And
happen.
we'll do a show about it. And it's just the amount of
And we'll do
people
a
that
show
we would
about it.
reach would be astronomical.
Yeah.
Anyway, not saying,
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Absolutely.
Next bit of news, because we're apparently going really long on the news today. Tintino also confirmed that when the power spots in Indonesia and India flip over to Pokestops, that new Pokestops or power spots will appear on the map. This is very likely just going to be other power spot eligible POIs that would have shown on their rotation anyway. They're just going to pop up a new one. So theoretically, these communities shouldn't be losing too much. But if they don't have a whole lot of power spots that are in that rotation to begin with, they still might. So,
Well, I have a thought on that. So I want to share a screenshot that you guys are probably seeing right now. Again, if you're watching video, you're seeing a screenshot. It's of where I work. So if you guys are watching this, you will see this on the screen. And Chris, this goes to your point on the power spots over in India and Indonesia. So for audio listeners, I'll do my best to explain. So what you're looking at here is a map of my where I work. And you can see the pin is actually right across the street from where I work. And all of so for the audio listeners, what you're looking at is the set location screen inside of Pokemon Go when you're nominating a POI to appear, and it shows all of the blue circles with the Wayfarer sign, and it has the location of where you are, but it also has the little Wayfarer orange exclamation point to show all of the other POIs that are used in other Niantic games. You know what I'm talking about, Chris, where it says use in other
yep,
Niantic games?
yep.
So this area, it is littered, Chris. What is there? Probably 15 to 20, maybe 30 other pins that are potentially power spot eligible.
Yeah.
So if I was in India and Indonesia looking at this map, one of those which met the Pokemon Go inclusion rules would pop up as a Pokestop, but look at all of the other ones that are eligible to become a a power spot in Pokemon Go. So to your point, I don't know where all these came from. Like I have no clue who submitted all these, and you can see some of them are on top of each other. But if their map looks anything like that, then there would be plenty to pop up as a new power spot.
Yeah, no, for sure. And there's hope. Fingers crossed there's tons for definitely these
Yeah,
areas.
hope.
But I wouldn't get too excited about it. I think at least that they've addressed some of the concerns that people were having with that about having not enough in the area to kind of keep the game going. So I think maybe some of our concerns from our last episode were a little bit unfounded, but hey, we speculate.
Yeah.
They tell where we're wrong.
Live and learn.
There.
Yep.
So hopefully, fingers crossed,
Exactly.
this works out. We'll have to wait for some responses from the folks who live in that area. So if you do live in that area and you are listening, first of all, thank you. Second, reach out, send us some screenshots of your area, and if you have some before and after, that would be fantastic. If you don't just have the after, then we would love to see that.
Sure would.
All right, let's jump into topic number 1.
Get ready for topic number 1.
I'm calling topic number 1, if not remove, why remove button? There was a post on the forums recently that asked how a generic bench got approved. We all know the answer. They got lucky with their reviewers. One of the I don't remember which ambassador it was, I apologize, said, hey, let's pump the brakes. We don't know what the supporting information was. We don't know what the supporting photo was. Maybe there's a nice view. All the pertinent questions, 100% valid questions. And then Cindy Poo was like, actually, I know exactly where this bench is. No. You can't see nothing. It's generic. There's nothing there. It's a bench. It should not have been approved. Cool. Wasn't the point of the post, but people started asking, well, why don't you just get it removed? And then a bunch of people were like, it doesn't meet the criteria for removal. And then they would kind of go back on track to, oh, how did this get approved? And they would veer back to, why can't you remove it? And they would go back and forth, and it kind of did a little bit of a slalom thing, right? So I wanted to talk about it because we talked about it in our Discord, and I think I pointed out.
It's one of the areas where you and I disagree. We don't disagree on a lot, but this is one of the areas where you see it one way and I see it the other way.
Yep. And people were like, well, that makes for good content. And I'm like, all right, don't twist my arm. Don't threaten me with a good time.
Hey, don't threaten me with a good time.
And it's funny because we did talk about this in episode 142, an episode that I did approve versus remove. But I think it warrants another discussion because that was 11 months ago, which is crazy to think about.
I know.
I was actually enough exactly 11 months ago. It was October 4th, that episode. And a new company is about to take over, or has taken over, is taking over, will take over. I don't know.
Yeah.
One of them.
Yeah.
So, first question, and I will let you have the first word on this. What harm does leaving wayspots on the game board that don't meet criteria do? What, if any, can you think of any reasons that we shouldn't leave them on the map?
Okay. So, look into my eyes, people, or listen to my voice if you're audio. I have said many times, much to the chagrin of Chris, I'm a big let sleeping dogs lie. I've never run from it. I've never pretended I wasn't that guy. I'm that guy. If it's on the map and it's not K to 12 or a fire station or a police station, I don't see a whole lot of harm. Now, I know there are people who are veering off the road or stumbling in brush if they were on a running path or walking path, but I'm not necessarily a need more stops guy, the need more stops, but I have always said I believe the community should be allowed to make their own decision in their community. And I know people are screaming right now, what happens when the community gets it wrong? And that's kind of the price of doing business, right? If your community thinks that this is eligible and it's nothing nefarious like a ring or anything like that, but your community says, hey, I know where this bench is. I think it should be included in the game. I can find reason in my heart, in my head to vote thumbs up. I think this bench is a good place for X, Y, or Z, right? Now, that's the reason why I don't think it can be removed. I've got other thoughts, but I know I see the notes and I see where you want to go with this. But to me, I think it's a slippery slope. If we start to say, I don't like this approval, I want to remove it because I don't think it meets criteria, when X amount of people, a number we don't know, right? And we probably shouldn't know, but a number we don't know all said this should be approved. But I say it shouldn't be approved and I want to remove it. So, to answer your question, I don't think it hurts. And I want to preempt your rebuttal of people will see it on the map and they'll say, "Oh, benches are now eligible. I'm going to nominate every bench because I don't think you can idiot proof, bulletproof the game." I don't know what I'm trying to say there, but I don't think that's a good enough reason. So that's the answer to the question. And I know you're going to come the complete opposite, and I'm ready for you.
100% you are. You're right. You can't idiot proof everything, right? But like it leads to confusion and it leads to delay. So confusion and delay. And if you have kids, you will appreciate those words. I Google it, confusion and delay. You'll get the joke. It's making people think that things are eligible when they're not, right? And I get it. I get the argument that it's not hurting anybody, right? And you're not wrong. It's not hurting anybody except for the people who get confused by this, right? So let's take your example of a bench, right? So you have a bench that's just this bench. Perfect example. Generic. No view in the map. It's there. So now you have Frank, right? Not to call out people named Frank, but it's the first name that popped into my head. Gets to level 35. Frank lives 2 blocks away from this bench. Frank sees the bench pop up in his game and go, whoa, I know where there's tons of benches. So he goes to his local park and he nominates 15 benches, right? Because he saw it on the game board. He thinks it's eligible. Frank gets an email from the Wayfarer team saying, pump the brakes, Frank. You've been putting a lot of things into the game that aren't eligible. This is your warning to pump the brakes and stop. Now, Frank's confused. Frank is very confused because now not only is his Wayfarer account in jeopardy, right? He thought he knew what he was doing and he doesn't. Now his Pogo account is in jeopardy. Now Frank will never nominate anything ever again. So you've just lost a Wayfarer because Bob decided to nominate a bench and then Jack, Frank, and 16 other people put it in the game, right? Like, I get the argument that it's not hurting anybody, but it really is. Like, the potential for it to hurt people is there. And I honestly just think that the Wayfarer itself should be, and this is, I think, where this line gets a little bit blurry, right? Wayfarer is game agnostic. It doesn't care about your game board. It doesn't care about Monster Hunter Now. It doesn't care about Pikmin Bloom. It doesn't care about Pogo. It cares about Wayfarer. Is it eligible for Wayfarer? And the other games use these, right? That's the thing. They use these points of interest and it just fuels misinformation into Wayfarer. And that's, I think, what's causing the problem. So yes, it's game agnostic, but it's not game exclusive. If you know what I mean. I don't even know. Well, I probably should have thought that.
No, I get you. No, you make perfect sense. I understand. And in my brain, I can rationalize what you're saying. But my point is, who is the grand arbiter of the map? Because you and I could look at a POI and I could go, I'm fine with that POI. It's great. And you look at it and go, it's abomination. Now, you and I both have been doing Wayfair long enough that I would legitimately call both of us experts. Like, I believe you're an expert in what you do, and I feel confident in my abilities that I'm an expert in what I do. But not every expert, not every ambassador, not every Wayfarer is going to look at things through the same lens.
Yep.
I'm going to look at it through a lens of Charlotte, North Carolina. You're going to look at it through a lens of Oshawa, Ontario, right? And also you're a map purist. So we could look at one POI and have two different ideas about it, and we can both be right. So the problem I have with people saying the community is wrong, they're saying that my view of this POI is more accurate than your view of this POI. And I have a problem with that. And I think the alternative is let Emily pick everything and have Emily or the Wayfarer team or some other third thing be the grand arbiter of what should be on there, because I'm sure there's some things on your map that if I came to Oshawa, I'd be like, I don't know about that. And I know if you came to Charlotte, you would look at some things and go, hey, I don't know about that. So that's why I've gone back to Wayfarer is local, and the local community should be able to make the decision.
You're not wrong. There are absolutely things that you would look at here in Oshawa and go, why is that on the map? But I think the difference is that I also look at those things and go, why is that there? And I've actually tried to get several of them removed, and the Wayfarer team is kind of going, it's fine. So I get it. And I don't disagree that local nuance is important. I just think that there's certain things that if it doesn't meet the criteria, like blatantly doesn't meet the criteria, that even if your local community says, yeah, I think that's eligible, mass groups of people can be wrong. Right? And I have no problem telling a whole group of people.
History has shown that mass groups of people can
right?
be wrong. 100%. Yeah.
Like, 100%. I will agree with local nuance. I just think that there are certain things like this bench, for example, that it should not be on the map. It's generic. It's boring. There's nothing important about it. And it just muddies the waters about the whole kind of game board, right? Which kind of brings me to my second point. Does the inclusion of imports as power spots complicate matters? Yeah, I mean, I think that we'll agree on this one. I think it does. And I think that
it does.
We're treading kind of very slippery slope here, bringing stuff onto game boards. I already had an issue with the sponsored stops, but I kind of rationalized that with it's not a Wayfarer thing. I think like Pogo is allowing Starbucks. Thank you. I think that's the only two that are here, other than some Circle K. I know Sprint Boost or something. Like the US has had a bunch. Japan had a bunch. They're all just saying, hey, just hand me a check. Do whatever you want. Basically, is what's happening, right? And that's
right.
But it all had that little tag on it that you could say, no, it's got that tag. They paid money for that. But even on the forums and on Reddit, you have people be like, well, why can't I nominate my Starbucks? It's right there. And it's right there. I can literally see 12 of them right now. Like, I open up my game and I can see, like in New York City, you could open up your game and see 12 Starbucks gyms. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then it's like, I have a new Starbucks. Yeah. Why can't I? And people are like, no. And it goes back to the lack of information in the game, right? And I want to go back to the news when I was talking about the special features and be like, hey, here's things that you can nominate. Here's things that you can't nominate. I understand that Starbucks, if you see this little tag on it, no, ignore it. Not part of Wayfarer. Don't look at it. Not there. I think power spots is going to make things worse.
Well, to go on to your theory of complicating matters, Indonesia and India, power spots are now being converted to POIs. Mm-hmm. So going back to your example of, was it Bob? No, it was Frank. Frank is now going to see if Frank is Indonesian or Frank is Indian. Frank is now going to see these new POIs with halos and go, oh, if Frank's not a super Wayfarer guy, he knows a halo means a brand new, something brand new. I'm going to say, oh, wait a minute, this is brand new. And we know power spots are on a rotational basis. So there's a possibility Frank never had any kind of touches with this power spot, but now it's a POI. So Niantic / Scopely has now just created that problem that you just talked about, but they created it.
Yeah.
Not the community.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Absolutely. And I think this is going to be a problem, especially if they didn't do any sort of vetting of the locations that they picked. Like, if they just pick one per cell and go, here you go. Like, there was a couple here and the power spots are gone, thankfully, that were just like, they were in people's houses. Like, there was literal illegal activity that people, as a joke, had put on Google or wherever, Foursquare or whatever. Yeah. They were just like, look at this. It's funny.
Overture.
Or like, it's just, and now all of a sudden it's popping up in the game and people are just like, I tweeted about it when they first came out. And I'm like, we can't honestly be serious about this. Because when they did that import,
I remember.
You cannot
Yeah, I
convince me
remember.
otherwise. They did zero vetting of that. They got a list.
There was a strip club in
Yeah.
there was a strip club in Charlotte that was a power spot, and it only showed up one time, and then it never showed up again. So I'm assuming somebody got it removed, but someone posted it in our local campfire, and I was like, "Oh, okay, wow,
There was
Pikachu on the pole.
there
Let's go."
there was 4 pharmacies, and I'm using air quotes here, pharmacies.
Okay. Okay. Yes.
I think
The home-based pharmacy. Gotta
we
love it.
all know what those actually. They were definitely supplying
Absolutely.
pharmaceuticals. The legal companies. So, last question before we get into trouble. Should Scopely change the policy? And will they? I know what you're going to say it.
You know what I'm going to say. You know what I'm going to say. I have advocated for a change in criteria for a hot minute. A hot minute. I think now is the perfect time to reassess the criteria. And it doesn't have to be like an acquiescence. There's my big word for the episode that we were wrong. It's a, hey, we are going to reassess the criteria to make it more inclusive, to make it more user friendly. We're going to throw the rule trainers a bone, and it doesn't have to be that anybody was wrong. It's just that, hey, new company took over. We've got fresh eyes on this. And it's not even, I want to relax the criteria. And I know other people just hate that
Yeah.
idea. I get it. It's fine. Whatever. I got big shoulders. But they don't even have to call it relaxing. They're just going to say, we're going to make additional criteria. We're going to make additional things eligible. And by consequent, we're going to make some other things ineligible. This would be a great time for them to come down one side or the other on neighborhood signs. You know where I stand on that. But this would be a great time, like you said a few episodes back. Let's just get the criteria and let's just answer all these questions that have been out there and make something black or white, because we know there's people that love black or white. I love gray, but I would love to see them massage the policy. Even if they massaged out some of the things I love, I would love to see it open up. But that's me. Like I said, remember, I went through that like 8-show phase where I was an agent of chaos and I just wanted to do everything. So you're right. You know what I'm going to say.
I'm not opposed to more things being eligible. At the end of the day, I honestly am not married to any of the criteria. It's their map. I'll do whatever the hell they want. If they want me to go out and nominate every single stop sign, cool. I'll do it. I don't care. Right? Like, I care, but I care about following their rules more than I care about what my game board actually looks like, because I don't, whatever. More spinners would be great. I would love more spinners. I would love more gems.
Right.
Do whatever they want.
Well, let me jump in and stop you there for a second. The problem, here's the crux of the problem, and I'm going to come to the Wayfarers team defense if they're listening.
Well, they are.
Pokemon Go and the Pokemon Go team create problems that the Wayfarer team has to stand in front of the crowd and take the arrows for. Tintino, LC, Aaron, Atlas, and all the other people who are visible on the forum do a fantastic job. Let me just say that. But they 100% have to take the heat and the arrows for things that the Pokemon Go team does. And the Pokemon Go team is not accountable to the Wayfarers. They're not visible to the Wayfarers, and they're not vocal to the Wayfarers. Tintino has been that dude, and he has been doing a great job of taking these arrows when none of this is his fault. The Pokemon team is complicating this for the Wayfarer team. Yeah, I see it.
Those are all my Pokemon.
I see it.
Shame on you guys, because you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. If you're watching the video, ignore all of the stuff that's at the bottom of my shelf that I haven't cleaned up because we haven't done video in 9 months. I forgot it was there. So, yeah, I mean, they've done things that I'm sure the Wayfarer team has just kind of gone smacking their head against the desk and gone, now why? Oh man, why are you doing this to me? And then they stand in front of us and they take the shots and they say the right things, and at the end of the day we all go, okay, I feel better.
Yeah,
because at the end of the day, the Wayfarer community is not the Pogo community, right? We take the shots. They fire the arrows. Aaron or Tintino or LC or Atlas comes on the forums and says sweet words to us, and we all feel better because we know that they'll fix it as best they can in the end, and they all have our best interests at heart, and they all have the best interests of the map at heart, and that's all we really ask. And the work that they do for the forums and for the whole Wayfarer team and community and the ambassadors is just beyond anything that we could ever thank them for. So when they say,
because they don't have to do it,
they don't, right? And they don't have to do this stuff. They could just kind of sit in the background and punch keys and enforce rules and do what they want. But they come on there and they take the shots. And you got to know that when Aaron sits there for his whole shift, or Tintino sits there for his whole shift and does nothing but answer questions on the forum, you know that they're dreading going into work that day. You know that they hate it. Right. They're just like, today's gonna suck. But they do it anyway.
Because there's probably far better things that they need to be doing.
They're probably in there playing rock, paper, scissors and be like, all right, which one of us gets this? You know?
Yeah, exactly.
So
it's like, oh, did you read the email from the Pokemon Go team? No, what did it say? They're going to, what did it say? They're going to turn power spots into POIs in Indonesia and India? Really? When? Oh, now they've done it?
Accurate.
And they run to the forum. It's like, all right, okay. Hey, cancel the rest of my meetings all day. I'm going to be here on the keyboard. Can't cancel.
I'm ordering lunch. Just have it delivered to my desk. I honestly think that Scopely at some point will relax the rules. I don't think they'll change anything about removals. That policy is not going anywhere. I just think that at the end of the day, Scopely's, I think you're right. I think they're going to want more on the map. It's entirely possible they don't change anything. It's entirely possible that they just go, hey, Wayfarer team, you good? And then the Wayfarer team goes, no, yeah, we're good. And they go, all right, cool. And then they just focus on Pogo and trying to earn back their $3.5 billion. So,
yeah,
I think all of this kind of,
which I said, more gyms on the map is more money for Scopely. I'm not wrong. And more power spots on the map is also more money for Scopely. They can sell mushrooms, and they can, sell energy and raid passes, because if you don't have those things on the map, you can't sell those things.
Yeah.
So it's a no-brainer to me. You want to earn money, put more gyms on the map.
Just the more I think about it, and we should clip this to play it 6 months from now, a year from now. The more I think about it, the more I think that they're just not going to touch Wayfarer at all. I think everything will stay the same. I don't think they're going to do a damn thing to Wayfarer. They're already changing Pogo. They're already making changes in Pogo. I'm sure changes to Pikmin Bloom and Monster Hunter now are coming. Yeah. I just think Wayfarer is going to be so low on their totem pole that they're just going to go, you guys just do what you're doing. We ain't going to.
It ain't broke.
Don't fix it. Right? So, all right. Just to wrap this up, if you're listening and you got the question, what do I do? At the end of the day, it's the Wayfarer team's map. We're just curating it. So we got to follow their rules. And Jamal already mentioned it. The Wayfarer teams have been very reluctant to remove things that aren't in direct violation of what I've started to call their prime directives. There's a Star Trek reference for you guys.
Ooh.
Is it safe?
I was going to say.
I typed that out and I'm like, ooh, I like that. Is it
That's
safe?
Good.
Is it appropriate? Is it off single family property, K-12, or secret government? If you answered yes to all three of those questions, what does Jamal always say? Let sleeping dogs lie. Leave it alone. They're not going to remove it. It's not going anywhere. You have to accept that it's there. At this point in Wayfarer's life cycle, they don't care. At the end of the, I don't know if that's Pogo's influence saying, hey, if it's on the map, don't touch it, right? And then the Wayfarer team's kind of going, yeah, but okay, cool. Yes, boss, right? But they're not going to take it off. So just don't bother. Right. I had two things removed this week. One of them was a plaque on a school grounds, and the other one was a playground that didn't exist anymore. Slam dunks. Both of them got removed. You could argue that you should just kind of leave them there. Those violate prime directives. If they don't exist, I forgot to put that in there. It doesn't exist, get it gone. If it's on K-12, get it gone. So I did that. right?
I thought you were going to make a rhyme. I thought you were going to say if it doesn't exist. I was waiting for the rhyme coming.
I gotta come up with one. Ooh,
You got to come up with something. Immediately, I went to Johnny Cochran, but we got to workshop that.
Yeah, I'm gonna workshop that.
I threw one of those in last week. Don't be shy. What did I say?
Hi.
Don't be shy. Come say hi.
Mhm.
Yeah, we got to think of those. So yeah, Elf from Space, if you're listening to this, because you didn't listen last week, somebody had to tell you that we were talking about you. Shame on you, Elf from Space. But if you're listening this week, I threw in a secondary tagline last week. Don't be shy, come say hi. So maybe we'll start to come up with some secondary and third dairy, fourth dairy, whatever tagline. So
we need a big giant time merch drop. That's what we're gonna do for our next season, is come up with some more merch, because I want,
we got to get merch.
it's Wayfarer's map. We're just curating it on a t-shirt. So I'm gonna chop that out, and we're gonna help. We're gonna put that out. Let's talk to Ken. We'll workshop that with Ken.
Yes, we'll workshop that out, and we'll have to have it ready. Well, it definitely has to be ready before GoFest, so people can get the merch and wear it to GoFest.
Because I am absolutely 100%. Sure. Even if I only get one made, I'm going to be rocking It's Wayfarer Teams map. We're just curating a t-shirt at GoFest next year. 100%.
You know what we should do? We should... Wait, let me think of this. We should have a contest on what t-shirt people want us to wear for one day at GoFest. And then we can like sign it and auction it off. I don't know. We'll talk about it. But I would love to come up with some t-shirt ideas and have people vote on what shirt they want us to wear just one day, because we've got our rotation that we have, but one day a t-shirt that people vote on for us to wear.
That's a good idea. That's a really good idea. Because with our play day, and then the Sunday is the kind of podcast network tour day. So that's a good idea. It's a good idea.
Yep. We'll figure something out.
Let's jump into topic number 2 real quick, because I got to talk about this.
This is Sarah Amanda. Don't forget about topic number 2.
I was on Reddit. Yeah, I know. I'm confused as to how I got there too. I think I clicked a link that Jamal sent me. I ended up on Reddit, and then I ended up in a rabbit hole. So I don't know what happened.
Dude, you got to be careful clicking on links I send you. You got to be careful. You never know where that's going to take you.
Very true. While I was there, I came across a tale of absolute Wayfarer horror that led to a player receiving a 10-year ban. Now, we were talking about this in the pre-show. I don't know that I've ever heard of anybody get a 10-year ban. I've heard people get a permaban. I've never heard of someone getting a 10-year ban. Like they literally have, when they try to open their game, you cannot log in for 9 months or 9 years and 4 months. Like, what? So I put in the notes, it's
that's wild.
Final rung of the ladder. Macho Man Randy Wayfarer off the top rope with the elbow. So the post was not made by the person who got the ban, but I put down friends, but like I read some of the comments, I think they were more acquaintances. They were kind of ran with the same Pogo group.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
I'm going to read the post, and then we'll get into the story, because it's not often you hear about somebody getting a 10-year ban. Here's the post. It was posted by Minute Performance 45. A player in our community was suspended for 10 years from Wayfarer because he made lots of repeated submissions with the same description for all of them. For several days, he clicked the photo of almost 40 POIs every day and submitted them with the same description for many of them. He was directly handed a 10-year suspension for this. I agree with the suspension, but without any early warning seems a little harsh. Of course, he broke the guidelines and violated the submission criteria. This was given to him almost 8 months ago. I met him recently when I joined my local community and got to know this from him. Is there any redemption for him, or is he toast for the next 9 years and 4 months? So there was a bunch of questions in there, because that post is kind of vague. But most of the posts were like, can you like maybe give us a little bit more? Like, I need more. Give me more. And eventually,
kind of like,
what was the description? What were the pictures? Like, was it the same picture for everyone? Was he creating? Was he editing? Eventually, we got this nugget of cluster replies that shed a massive spotlight on what the situation actually was. So, Rude Reaction 821 said, I'm confused. He just took already existing POIs and then submitted them in completely different locations. So then the OP replies, no, he was making new POIs, but kept using the same description over and over. If they were rejected, he was submitting them again and again. Be like, you ever see the guy on TikTok who runs around with the giant red flag? Yeah, that's him right now, running around.
Yeah. Right.
And then Casanova F said, I still don't get it. So I said, I still don't know if I get it. He used one description for 40 submissions. What was the description? This is Tony's submission. Please make a Pokestop. He goes, minute performance 45, goes, yeah, something like that. This was my question was, is there any hope for him or is he likely going to be suspended for 10 years? Thing that we've figured out what went wrong. Hey, so he must have gone through and been like, I just need Pokestops everywhere. So he took the same photo, the same description, and then just clicked random spots on the map and was like, boop. And when they all got rejected, he got all of his 40 back and he's like, well, I'm going to try again. Maybe I'll try them here. Boom, boom, boom. And then the Wayfarer team's like, no. You clearly are an absolute menace. You're like an orange cat in a china shop. Done.
Yes. But how did this not get a lifetime ban? I've seen things that got a lifetime ban that I'm like, if anybody deserves a lifetime ban, it's this guy. Yeah. Not a 10-year. Like, I could see them doing a 30-day suspension to be like, stop.
Right?
Like, you know, when like if you've been at work and somebody's messing something up and you just like grab the controls and like, stop, just go sit down. Just we'll figure this out in a minute. Right now, stop. Like I could see him like slapping his hand, giving him a 30-day suspension, explaining it to him, and then giving him the ban hammer. Mm-hmm. But like 10 years is just kind of weird, especially with the rest of the stuff going on.
Yep. I've actually gone up to workstations at my work and then pulled the emergency stop and be like, no, you're done. We're just take a step back. I'm going to spend the next 10 minutes explaining to you that you're doing wrong right now because you are not doing a single thing right other than breathing. Like everything else is wrong. Right? Yes. The very next thread of comments, Oracle of Akhenaten was like, but like, why though? And then the OP was like, rural area, less Pokestops, so probably desperate to get gyms and Pokestops. And then OK Dragonfly 658 was like, sounds like your friend got the consequences he deserved. He effed around and found out. And like later on, and this makes me think that this might be partially made up because other things that I gleaned from the post, he's about 18 or 19 years old, this guy. This 10-year ban is not just a Wayfarer ban, it's a Pogo ban. So they lost their Pogo account, which apparently had a Shundo Origin Dialga, a Shundo Origin Palkia, both with special moves, a Shadow Hundo Mewtwo, a Shundo Tornadus, and a Shundo Party Hat Wobbuffet. That's a lot of Shundos. A lot of Shundos for one account. But maybe 18, 19, maybe he's playing 15 hours a day, like some streamers do. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe he's got really good luck. My luck ain't that good.
No, like, mine either.
10 years? So they must have jumped right to 10 years based on everything that I've done. They jumped straight to 10 years. Which, like, if he's 18 or 19, maybe he's been playing for 3 or 4 years. Maybe he's got a lot into that account. Maybe they would have felt bad with giving him a permaban, right? So maybe all these permaban accounts that we've heard about in the past are just new accounts that people have spun up that are maybe like 6 months old, and the Wayfarer team's just like, don't care, 6 months? Go spend another 6 months, you're fine, right? But if this guy is like a 2020, 2021, 2019 player, maybe they were just like, okay, let's just give him the 10, and then he appeals it, we'll have a conversation, and maybe we'll just like, say, hey, try again next year. Give him 365 days to cool off, and maybe they'll lift the ban after that. I don't know. But it sounds like they jumped straight to 10. And apparently this kid has spun up a new account and he's just started playing again. He's just like, yeah, I'm done with Wayfarer. Like, thank you. Good. The Wayfarer ban did exactly what it was supposed to. it's gotten you out of the system because I can't imagine doing reviews in that area.
Well, we talked about that in the news. Like I said, a bad nominator is much worse than a bad reviewer.
100%. 100%.
Yep.
So yeah, that's that. I got a good kick out of that. I got a good kick out of a lot of the comments on that thread. They were just like, thank the jeez. One person was like, the people in the Wayfarer group are so insufferable. We're like, no,
yes,
really.
I saw that. I'm like, what?
We're not really. You follow the rules. If you don't follow the rules, 100%, we're very insufferable. But yeah, you did that to yourself.
And then some of the comments were like, why suspend his Pokemon Go account? Just suspend his Wayfarer account. And it's like he was abusing Wayfarer for the purposes of Pokemon Go. So it makes sense that they would both be suspended.
Yeah, 100%. And it's just like,
and that's coming from me. Yeah. I'm the lenient guy. And I'm all for it.
You take away access to it, and you take away the tool that they were using to have access to it. Sorry about your luck, right? We've talked about this before ad nauseum, so I don't want to get into it again. But yes, that's just kind of the way it is, right? All right, let's go ahead and take a break. No Tales from Canada this week. We're running a little bit long, and I didn't prepare anything. I don't have anything. Hockey season's starting up. There's that. Jackson starts lacrosse again in 10 days. There's that. Other than that, I got nothing. So let's take a 5-minute break. We will play some dad jokes and come back on the other side with Wayspot of the Week and Coal of the Week.
Hey, this is Rolly Wambo alumni, and you're listening to the Wayspotters podcast.
My name is David Hernandez from As the Pokeball Turns. You're listening to a 5-star show with the Wayspotters podcast.
Hey guys, this is Pokédaxy, and you're listening to the Wayspotters podcast.
Are you serious? This again? It's season 3.
Why don't eggs tell jokes? Because they would crack each other up. I used to play piano by ear, but now I use my hands. I asked my barber if he could make me look younger. He looked at me again, and then handed me a lollipop. I tried opening my own bakery, but I just couldn't make enough dough. I ordered a chicken and an egg online. I'll let you know which one comes first. I once knew this guy who was really, really, really addicted to brake fluid. He looked me right in the eye and said, "Hey, I can stop at any time." I got fired from the orange juice factory. As it turns out, I couldn't concentrate.
And welcome back. Hope you enjoyed the dad jokes this week. Let's jump right into Wayspot of the Week.
Here is a beautiful example of a Wayspot of the Week, which may or may not be a 2-story mural.
All right, this one, why don't you take this one, and then I will take the next one.
Right. So this one here, I'm pretty excited about. This comes to us from friend of the show and Wayfarer ambassador and last week's special guest, Agent X. So Agent X lives in Boise, not to dox him. I won't give his home address. I don't have it, but I wouldn't give it anyway. Anyhow, I digress. Agent X lives in Boise, and he nominated this as Ancestral Pillars and Storylines. Sandstone sculpture by Louis Chin and Hu Ming Yu. These pillars honored diverse cultural groups that populated the neighborhood as Boise was growing. So Stonehenge, but not Stonehenge, but something similar to Stonehenge. It's these stone kind of monoliths, and they're kind of in what looks to be a circle, and it's kind of in the middle of a park. You can see some buildings in the background and an apartment building. And these pillars have stories etched into the sandstone. So there's like motifs and stories etched into the sandstone and I'm assuming it's super awesome. This is from the showcase, so we don't have any more than just this. We don't have the secondary picture, but this is definitely something that if I was going to Boise, I would go and find because I'm sure it is a cultural center and it's really cool. So think blue sky background, trees in the background. It looks like there's a pavilion to the back left. There's a couple buildings, and then this circular oblong feature is right in the middle with the sandstone pillars there. So cool, Agent X. This is awesome. And I'm glad you were able to find this and put this in the game.
Oh, absolutely fantastic. This is one of those things that when you see it in the showcase, you're like, that is a showcase worthy Wayspot. Absolutely. And like I say this every time I see something that's right across the street, like you got the main street in the background there, like there's no people there. Like that's fantastic. Like I struggle sometimes taking shots without people in areas that are busy, right? And it's just so you just nailed it. Like absolutely nailed it.
And also one more thing to nail it, Chris. I'm sure something in the background was or is a Wayspot, and he used that when he nominated it so people could see something else that was there. So we know how good Agent X is at nominating Wayspots. So I'm just assuming something on the left is a POI in the game currently. And when this was in voting, someone could go, oh, I can see this in the background. So he didn't say it, but just knowing Agent X like I do, I'm assuming that he did that.
For sure. 100%. Absolutely. All right, let's jump into Wayspot of the Week number 2.
This is Sarah Amanda, and here's some Wayspotters approved points of interest.
All right, this comes to us from Cindy Poo in the Pokemon Professor Network Discord. I always like to shout out the Pokemon Professor Network Discord, or the Wayfarer discussion Discord, sorry, whenever we mention one of their more prominent members. So I mentioned Cindy Poo earlier, so we're going to use her Wayspot of the Week. This is, let me pull it up, Log Pond. So it's not the picture itself that caught my eye on this one, it's the story behind it. So it's a sign. It's got a black outline on it, so it's like a black pole that kind of goes up, curves, goes over, and then curves, then goes back down again. There's a white sign in the middle, and the top of it says Apex, North Carolina. At the top of it says the Apex, the peak of good living, which is, I think, a fantastic slogan for a town called Apex. And it's Log Pond. It's just it's a sign that talks about the history of Apex as a town. So I'm going to read what the sign says. Let's pull up a better picture of it. Before it was incorporated in 1873, the town of Apex was known as Log Pond, which is a great town name in and of itself. Timber waiting to be cut into lumber was held in a pond behind the current downtown fire station, adjacent to the depot. Steam engines made stops at the pond to replenish their water supply on their way to Raleigh, as well as to load the raw lumber to be delivered to the lumber yards for processing. Log Pond was situated at the highest elevation during a 30-mile section of the Chatham Railroad, which is now ultimately how it became called the town of Apex, the peak of good living, which is absolutely amazing. Right? Like
That's such good alliteration right there.
So good. And it's 1873, so that town's been around forever. And you know that when they incorporated it, they're all just sitting around and be like, okay, we can't call ourselves Log Pond. That's weird. That's kind of rednecky. We're not going to call ourselves Pond. We need a good name. And someone was like, well, we're at the top of the hill. Let's just call ourselves Apex. And people were like, dude, yes. Ew. So they probably didn't say dude. It was 1873, but you know what I mean? It's, you know, someone was like Apex and everybody in the room's like, no, you nailed it. You win.
Yep, you got it. You got it. Yes. That was Habit.
Yep. That was Habit. Huzzah. Okay. Something that's not huzzah is my submission for Coal of the Year from Pass of El Pato 2 in Reddit. So let's play the jingle and we'll do Coal of the Week. 3. I've been working on the Wayfarer all the live long day. I've been working on the Wayfarer just to pass the... Uh-oh. Oh no. Hey Jamal, I found some coal. Alright, this is, like I said, my submission for Coal of the Year. The title is Casa Abondata, which literally means abandoned house. The description, Ponto de Encanto para cazar Pokémons, means meeting point to hunt Pokémons. The supporting information, esta Poképarada es muy importante, pues nesse local no existe ninguna. Me espero que afis poco distante, which means, essentially, there's no Pokéstops near here. It is what you would picture. It's an abandoned house. It's like
abandoned house.
It looks kind of like a clay house. There's a couple of doors on the front, and then like the top has like a balcony. It's like really dark. The lights on. There's no furniture on the balcony. It looks very run down. It looks like an abandoned house.
It does.
If you were to picture,
it looks like an abandoned
house in like rural Spain, that's what you're looking at right now. If you're just listening to us on the audio, just picture in your head an abandoned Spanish house. This was posted with the title, "Is This Sketchy?" And I would like to read you my reply. Oh yeah, is this sketchy? This is what another one of the things that I found on my rabbit hole on Reddit. Is this sketchy? Here's my reply. To answer your question bluntly, yes. The point of interest, and I use that term very loosely, is a rundown abandoned house. The title means literally abandoned house. The description is about meeting to hunt Pokemon, and the supporting information is nothing more than I need to stop because the closest one is too far away. This nomination went 0 for 4, which is impressive for all of the wrong reasons. I get it. Rural, you want a Pokestop. I don't think anybody should be meeting outside of this house for anything.
No.
Let alone,
I think if you pictured to 10 people and said, "Is this sketchy?" I think it'd be 10 out of 10.
Some of the comments were just like, what? Some of the comments were pretty funny. I can't read them on air, but some of them were pretty funny. I gotta admit, Reddit is good for creative insults. I will give it that. They're
very snarky.
There was definitely some snarky comments that got my upvotes. I will say that. All right. You got anything else?
I got nothing else, my
right,
friend.
Cool. I will go ahead and sign us off. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Wayspotters. We really appreciate it. A big thank you goes out to our executive producer, KatettheKonz, our show historian, Maddie G, and to all of our Patreons. We couldn't do this without you. Thank you so much. Now, if you enjoyed this episode of Wayspotters, there are a few ways you can show us. We are on Twitter, @Wayspotters. We are also on Instagram, @Wayspotters Podcast, and on TikTok, @IMakeWayspots. We are incredibly responsive and love interacting with our followers. Let us know what you thought about today's episode. You can also visit our website, www.wayspotters.com. From there, you can get the links to everywhere you can download the show. You can also send us a message directly from the website or email us, wayspotters@pokemonprofessor.com. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and to click the bell to be notified whenever we post a new video. For those of you who still need to, be sure to check us out, youtube.com/@WayspottersPodcast. Leave us a voicemail on our hotline, 704-426-3710, or tweet us a voice message. You never know, your voicemail may appear on an upcoming episode of the show. Finally, if you are not a member of the Pokemon Professor Network Patreon, you can join for as little as $1 US a month. All you need to do is go to patreon.com/PokemonProfessor. You will have access to the Discord for the entire family of shows across the Pokemon Professor Network, including Wayspotters, Special Conditions, Gotta Watch 'Em All, Purified Podcast, Good Morning Johto, Sleep It Off, After Darkrai, and Lured Up. It is a fantastic place filled with fantastic people. Jamal and I are active in the Discord quite a bit, so come and hang out. We would love to have you. With that, We look forward to you joining us again next week here on Wayspotters. We really appreciate the support we get each week, and we couldn't do this without you. Remember, it's not that far. Get out of your car.